What's the worst thing that ever happened to you when you were sitting on the toilet? Didn't happen to me, but I was there to verify its truth. So this one time at work, a guy was doing his business, and when he was done he cleaned up and looked into the bowl before flushing. And a very large snake was in there. It had quietly crawled up the drainage pipe. The man screamed like a little girl and came running out of the bathroom. The owner of the company then went and grabbed the snake with a stick or something and chopped its head off with a shovel. I always wonder if such a thing could happen to me. 12 years old, Boy Scout. We were all over at the Scoutmaster's house getting ready to go camping. I ran into the bathroom, man sprayed liquid shit into the toilet. I felt a pew coming on. Turn around and spray shit all over his wall. I turn around, look in horror and vomit all over the shit. And shit again as I'm vomiting, missing the toilet. I tried to clean it up and failed. My mom came, man got me, and I never went back to Boy Scouts. Was in a public restroom. That was very crowded, sitting in the stall doing my thing, and did what we all do when we go to pass the time. I took out my smartphone. The bathroom was really quiet. Like uncomfortably quiet, even though there are a bunch of Jews all sitting within a few feet of each other silently shitting. We are in America, so the partitions are super shitty and barely separate the toilets. It's one of those times where it's so quiet that everyone is probably uncomfortable even trying to push a log out because it's going to make a large embarrassing farting noise. So I'm browsing the Reddits and I'm writing a response to someone and try to type the wordy area, but I misspell it. My phone had this feature at the time that when you misspell a word, it would auto-correct it to the most likely word. But it would also say the word out loud through the speakers. Here I am sitting in silence. As my phone says in its computer voice, diarrhea. I can only imagine everyone in the other stalls wondering what kind of fucking crazy app I'm using that says what kind of shit I've just had out loud. The guy in the stall next to me starts laughing. Then we all started laughing. Ha ha ha, that was hilarious. In my head I can hear a bunch of guys laughing while simultaneously unable to control their bold dismissal in silence, resulting in a symphony of laughter and random poop and fart sounds, causing even greater laughter, all eventually ending in awkward silence again. So I'm sitting there on the toilet, pooping, browsing my social media, usual toilet-related actions, when my dad literally kicks in my door, and hinging it. Keep in mind, this was not a large bathroom. In fact, it was very small. There was just a toilet. The room was probably 2 feet by 4. The size of the bathroom resulted in my knee being bashed by the door, effectively dislocating my kneecap. When asked why he did it, my dad said he thought it would be funny to scare me. My dad is a fucktard. Pre-gym dookie, sit down on the toilet and start doing my thing. Well, for some reason, maintenance or whoever diddled with the automatic flusher. I'm sitting for 30 seconds. When I hear a rumble below and realize, this fucker is going to flush on me. It's too late. The motherfucker flushes and sends splatters of toilet water across my ass and dick. But not before it shoots a gale force cold wind straight up my ass that makes me pucker hard enough for my ass to be confused with one of those Chinese finger traps. I grit my teeth and get back to it, trying to get this over with. When 15 seconds later it flushes again. I went through 2 more Arctic blasts up my bum within 2 minutes before I gave up and busted through my workout, pissed off and slightly constipated. The absolute worst. When I was dating my now wife, we went to her family's house for Easter. The way the house was built, the septic line only supports water usage for a home with 6 or so people, but because it was a holiday we had 20 or so people at the house. Once the drain line is full, everything backs up, and if you flush, it doesn't go down. Before I understood this, I just thought their toilets were so weak I was literally afraid to spit in the toilet for fear it would clog. Anyway, I obviously dropped some dumpage, but it wouldn't flush down. I was mortified. She was going to see. Everyone was going to know. I saw an empty Ziploc bag in the trash and flipped it inside out and retrieved the turds. I smuggled them out of the house without anyone noticing and threw them in a large outdoor trash can. Spider on the toilet paper roll. he was on the backside. I rolled it, freaked, jumped up at the moment of release, shit everywhere, to be clear. I had a full jar of pickled okra the night before, so things were quite liquid. Bonus terrible points for being at work. This happened to me, but instead of a spider, it was a huge house centipede. I'm terrified of those things. I don't mind spiders, though. I jumped up and tried to run, but due to the layout of my bathroom and my panic, I ran into the door when I tried to open it, and fell on the floor. By this time, I was crying and hyperventilating, and my pants were still down as I crawled out of the bathroom. I am ashamed to say I wiped with a paper towel in the kitchen. Luckily, I only had to pee. After that day, I threw away the toilet paper holder and I now keep the roll in a large Ziploc bag next to the toilet. I was on a road trip with my dad and 2 of my sisters. We stopped at this sketchy grocery stop. I have to pee like hell, so I run in despite the awful stench coming from the place, and also the fact it was pitch black. There were no doors on the stalls, but there wasn't anyone else around, so I sat and did my thing. But I felt something poking my ass slightly. I told this to my sisters, who were also in the bathroom at this point, but they tell me it's probably nothing. So I finish doing what I'm doing and get up off the toilet. I should have just left well enough alone, but curiosity got the best of me. I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight. I shine it on the toilet. What I saw on that toilet seat changed me as a person. Dried shit. There was dried shit stuck in the toilet seat. I had a stranger's dried shit poking me in the ass while I was taking a fucking piss. I nearly cried. My family laughed. A bug that was hiding out in my underwear bit me on my dick. That was a good day. The throne somehow disconnected itself from the ground, and I fell forwards. Felt my first earthquake mid-poo. Pretty scary actually. In the right place to have the crap scared out of you. Fire alarm went off during primary school, and there was no toilet paper. My mom called to tell me that my brother had committed suicide. I was in the Dairy Queen bathroom when I answered. I was once smoking a cigarette on the toilet, much like I'm doing now, when I went to drop the cig in the bowl between my legs and I burnt the tip of my dick. It's a sign to quit smoking, or the sign of a big dick. When I was trying to reinsert my menstrual cup, the slippery fucker leapt out of my hands and bounced all over the wall, the floor, the sink, and nearly the toilet. It was literally pinball with medical grade silicone. Had to clean it all over again before I could use it. Luckily, the cup was clean when it escaped, so the bathroom didn't end up looking like a total murder scene. The first time I ever took my Diva cup out, I somehow managed to fling it across my bathroom. There was blood all over the wall, floor, toilet, and tub. It looked like someone got slaughtered in there. Stumbled into the bathroom in the morning and sat down to pee. Decided to lean back, way back, and close my eyes. Tea shot right over the toilet seat and all over the rug. I'm a girl. I did not know this could happen. I tried to put in a tampon and felt some serious resistance. I reached up and found a tampon from my previous period. It looked and smelled like a rotting piece of flesh. In high school, I was minding my own damn business, doing my own business, when a buddy of mine came into the bathroom. I knew it was him because he was talking to someone as he came in. In the bathroom there is about a 20-pound rock that is used as a doorstop. He thought it'd be a good time to slide that fucker under the stall door at mop to scare me. Luckily, I lifted my feet in time, but the rock slammed into the toilet, just annihilating the thing. I had a turd halfway out my ass while this happened, so I had to pinch that fucker off, not with my hands, as I lifted my pants to avoid getting soaked by toilet fountain my friend made. We ran out of the bathroom with my pants and boxers just that high before anyone saw. This one is gross, but I was 7, and I've never told anyone. And my grandpa never did either. So I'm staying the week with my grandparents. I had to poop. As I was wiping, I realized there was no more toilet paper. I had severe bathroom anxiety, but I called out for toilet paper, called and cried. No one heard me. So 7-year-old me starts using my hand to wipe, and I'm sobbing. It's gross. Then my grandpa comes in, hands me toilet paper and walks away. Okay. So I'm a guy who lives in tiny apartment with two chicks. Everyone has own room, walls are very thin, so imagine how long it took me get the courage to finally take a shit in the house with two of them around. One of them has a cat which often gets sick. Some time ago cat was puking all over the place and had to be checked. Owner works from morning till late evening, and because I'm at home relatively early before 4 p.m., I was asked to look over cat and get poop sample. I was told to be quick and get it before he will try to bury it in litter box. After work I always make myself a cup of coffee which makes me poop. So I went to the bathroom, and because I was alone in the house and very committed to my task, I didn't close the door to lister this little fuck so I could react as fast as it's possible. So I sit there. Just dropped my first torpedo when I hear him stomping on litter. I jumped from toilet with my pants around my ankles, and when I was crossing hall to get to her room, where litter box is, I hear her cell phone ringing. I panicked that she's in her room and will see me like this. So I made this sweet maneuver to get back to the bathroom, but I slipped on floor tiles and hit my face against the half-open bathroom doors, crawling to don't waste any time. Ashelley get back and close door behind. Finished my business and I went to my room. Later that evening cat lady knocks on my door and asked if I managed to get the sample. She just came back from work, laughing that she left her phone on desk. I was around 11 years old. On vacation with my family at a campground. I was taking a dump when all of a sudden someone started to pound violently on the stall door, fat fingers curled around the bottom of the door, and this dude began to shake the living hell out of the door. I quickly got up and wiped out. I cautiously opened the door because I knew I had to get out of there and back outside as quickly as I could. Before me stood a stocky, mentally retarded kid, 5 or 6 years older than me. He grabbed me by the shirt and threw me up against the wall, shouting, "Fucking kid. You fucking kid." I managed to wrestle myself out of his grip and escape, but man, that was quite an experience. To this day, I am very uneasy around retarded people. There's been times when I've had to go really bad. So I just run into the bathroom, pull my pants down and plop on the toilet, but the lid is down. I end up peeing all over myself and the floor, being so constipated that I passed out and hit the floor. Mom came running, seeing Soon with pants around his ankles, face down on the ground. I was once on a week-long Boy Scout canoeing trip in northern Canada. There were no toilets, so you had to dig a hole with a trowel and pop a squat. Well, on the first day someone managed to not only break the trowel, but proceeded to lose the shovel half. A few days later, after digging a hole with a rock, I proceed to do my business on. Halfway through, I came to realize that I was in fact crouching over a bee nest. Needless to say, the next few hours of paddling from a metal seat were not the best. This happened twice. No, not the bees. Once went to a petrol station toilet on a road trip and on the verge of shitting myself, rushed to the bowl, unleashing an ungodly torrent of filth into the toilet. Then I heard a kind of sloshing around underneath me. I instinctively shot up and looked in the bowl, and this huge big black fucking rat was staring right back at me, covered in my shit. I stared for a few moments in shock, then elected to go to a different stall to wipe up, staying vigilant for nose in case Mickey decided to take vengeance upon his shitty assailant. To this day, I refuse to shit in ground-level toilets. I'm just lucky he didn't decide to bite me in these while I sat down. 2 things first. A cockroach went up my leg and went into the toilet, literally scaring the shit out of me. Second, I was at my friend's really nice cabin, and it was me and a bunch of my girlfriends. I got really sick and was puking and pooping hot lava, and it hadn't occurred to me to puke in the trash and poop in the toilet. Gimme a break. It was 2 in the morning and my guts were eking out of me, so I tried to just get the diarrhea on my pants, but it shot up the wall of their very lovely bathroom instead. Not my favorite story. At an ex-girlfriend's house a few years ago, had to shit. She told me the hallway toilet was messed up, pan wouldn't flush well. I, for whatever reason, didn't believe her. I then proceeded to take one of the largest shits I've ever taken. The toilet did not flush. I Spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out why, and discovered that the part that forces the water into the bowl wasn't filling up. I then spent about an hour and a half using a tiny cup I found in the bathroom filling that thing up and trying to flush the toilet. My dad said when he was a little boy in China, he was doing his business on the toilet and, after a little while, he felt something tickling him. He thought nothing of it until he looked down and it was a massive cockroach tickling his butt with its antennas or whatever you call them. Thank you very much for watching. In the comments below the video, write if any strange stories have happened to you while sitting on the toilet. And don't forget to watch our other videos.